So after months of making fans suffer with the broken video secretly filmed at D23 Expo, Marvel Studios suddenly ambushed with a trailer that provides a sharp look at Daredevil's upcoming rebirth journey. And now, without wasting much time, let's go with us and analyze all the details that appeared in the trailer of Born Again. To get the complete version that will air on Disney Plus in early March, Daredevil Born Again has actually gone through a relatively messy development process since it was announced by Marvel Studios. Although it has started filming and many plots have been revealed on the internet, after being personally experienced by Kevin Feige, this CEO could not be satisfied because the quality of the content is far inferior to the 3 films that were supported by Netflix, taking advantage of the large-scale love affair organized by the American screenwriter in May last year. The original creative team of Daredevil Born Again was eliminated, replaced by a new team that met the standards required by Kevin Feige. Following the decision to scrap everything and start over, the studio also borrowed Vincent D'Onofrio's words to publicly decide to canonize the Defenders into the MCU. So not only Punisher, Luke Cage, Iron Fist have entered the potential category. Is it possible that the MCU will not touch on the hand disasters in the past to avoid logical confusion? Currently, the series is expected to have 18 episodes in the first season. This amount is divided into 2 halves, and the gap between each part will witness a certain time jump. In addition, Charlie Cox confirmed that the filming process of Daredevil Born Again Season 2 has been going on and operating between the broadcast schedule. In terms of setting, Daredevil Born Again brings a full angle of Times Square on New Year's Eve. Hawkeye takes place on Christmas Day 2024. Echo takes place in 2025. This could be a window into the Fisk market in the final days of 2025. Most of the drama in Daredevil Born Again will take place in 2026. However, due to the transition, the creative team will need to spend a lot of flashbacks, briefly describing the events that have happened since the end of Season 3 on Netflix. Combining the story in Hell's Kitchen and the streets of the MCU seems to require a lot of subtle interpretation. However, as proven in the Echo series, everything makes sense when Vin and Thanos' snap wipe out humanity. Following the post-credits scene in Echo, where Wilson Fisk fails in his mission to hunt down Maya Lopez, New York is in turmoil and the unwanted mayor has his attention. In Nong Na, Kingpin is taking over the underworld. So why not take over political control, thereby establishing a local domination? In Born Again, this ambition of Fisk has come true when there is no longer any obstacle in the city to hinder him. Accordingly, in the first rainy scene, the trailer has framed a forced and humorous image. Matt Murdock is having coffee with Wilson Fisk at a familiar restaurant. In contrast to the heavy and hostile clash in the most recent time, the two have a friendly conversation about the current state of the new market. Wilson does not feel uncomfortable when seeing Matt. The dialogue is humorous, but it is a reference to real-life filming between the actors. They love the series, feel lucky to have the chance to continue it, and it doesn't reflect any dynamic between the two characters at all. The fake atmosphere is only interrupted when the lawyer is frank about feeling like the crime boss is gaming the system. Specifically, Fisk will do everything he can to expand his criminal enterprise and eliminate vigilantes like Daredevil. Conveniently, it will be approved by the government. Behind-the-scenes images also confirm that Punisher will have to join forces with Daredevil to fight against the Anti-Street Terror or Anti-Vigilante Task Force. In addition to the aforementioned best friend, we all know that New York is also a stop for many other monsters. Kate Bishop just recently took down Kingpin. In addition, the unlucky Spider Peter Parker is also taking his first steps into the forgotten life in the city. It is rumored that Marvel Studios has made a lot of efforts to give Tom Holland's Spider-Man a cameo in Daredevil Born Again. Unfortunately, Sony Features stubbornly refused. Back to the trailer, the surprise here is that Matt Murdock has given up playing a vigilante. It's not clear when it started, but it's been going on since Wilson Fisk took office. Matt Murdock confides in the head of the crime lord. A line has been crossed. Visualizing this feeling is a shot showing the Daredevil's face falling from the roof of Georgie's, the bar frequented by the trio of lawyers. Below ground, an ambulance planted with a signal substance in a flag that has just happened. Could it be that the repeated crossing of the line has haunted Matt Murdock and directly implicated him in the attack on his two beloved friends? Forge Nelson by Eldon Hansen and Karen Page, played by Deborah and Holm, will both reunite with Charlie Cox in Born Again. The casting information is pretty standard for the Daredevil project. Yet it has caused the fan community to lose sleep. According to George, around the original script, Nelson and Page were removed off-screen. Whether it was due to murder or clipping is not certain. With Kevin Feige's rebuilding, the trio of lawyers has reunited in the MCU, although their fates are still uncertain. Feige only appeared in a flashback when the law firm was newly established. On the other hand, the only image related to Karen is a court hearing, where the beautiful lady participated in a tense and fast-paced aspect. Taking on the fate of both sides, the development has been guaranteed that Karen will leave the city or be separated from Matt for a relatively long time. The lawyer is having fun with another woman. She is believed to be Heather Glenn. After all, this is just a secret love affair of Daredevil in the comics. Karen Feige will soon return, and will probably play a more significant role in the end of Season 1 and the entire Season 2 of Born Again. The reason why we will mention when mentioning Bullseye below. The public's expectation in the trailer will of course be the return of Franklin Castle. And it took 8 years in real time for Daredevil to reunite with Punisher. But most recently the two warriors clashed. We were still flocking to see the Captain America Civil War in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In Born Again, Matt Murdock, as usual, will still be the individual who proactively seeks out his comrade. And somehow, Frank did not realize that his friend Red would violently throw his opponent into the locker, breaking the knife in his hand to ask for some blood. Frank's return, in addition to being the backdrop for the Wilson Fisk Market's quest, Punisher will also be given a separate storyline by the writers. Accordingly, he will have to deal with corrupt and depraved police officers. They commit crimes with the Punisher logo on their uniforms, thereby distorting and tarnishing the value of punishment that the symbol represents. Daredevil offers to cooperate with Punisher because Frank Castle's path to justice is often a bit extreme. That cruelty can unintentionally make the vigilante image more brutal in the eyes of the police, directly reinforcing the belief in the ideal that Kingpin is preaching. A separate Punisher project seems to have been greenlit by the studio for the Spotlight brand branch. If Hawkeye, who becomes Ronin, hunting down the worst of the worst of the worst, then wonder what kind of mentality will be there to witness Frank Castle's crazy punishment in 5 years. Another returning face in Born Again is Bullseye. The villain ended Daredevil Season 3 with a life-saving surgery directed by Dr. Onyama. According to Marvel Comics, Bullseye underwent a similar experiment involving adamantium. Coincidentally, this world-sought-after metal will be smelted from Celestial's Talmud. Captain America Brave New World was released just a few weeks before Daredevil Born Again, so why not let the MCU indulge its fans? In Born Again, Benjamin Poindexter, the guy with the back straight, has a very muscular body, takes advantage of his special ability to eat government food. Neither incident has caused Bullseye to be handcuffed. It's unclear whether he has served his sentence or is being transferred to court. However, with the goal of killing Karen Page still alive, Benjamin's return will also be tied to the beautiful female lawyer. Continuing the coincidence, Deborah Anwar was revealed to have only signed a contract for 3 episodes in the first season of Born Again. The number is equal to the actor who plays Bullseye, Wilson Bethel. This series of details is not random. This is also added to Karen's tense attitude in the courtroom. Some fans have speculated that the MCU may adapt the original The Guardian Devil from the 1998 Daredevil series, where Karen Page was killed by Bullseye. Before the above hypothesis arose, the leaked original script of Born Again also revealed that Foggy would be the character who would die at the hands of Bullseye. After her own accident, Karen immediately fell into New York City, leaving Bullseye's fate and what was holding him back to be revealed. With the influence of Kevin Feige, hopefully the line that Matt Murdock crossed will not involve Benjamin's life. Because in reality, it is difficult to accept the separation of the 3 lawyers, let alone the separation of Yin and Yang. Finally, actress Kristen Ritter has been posting a photo of them with purple hair on social media. This is the familiar role of Jessica Jones in the comics. Therefore, 99% of the super absorbent Punch will also have fun with his old teammates in Born Again. With the level of interest directed towards Jessica Jones, the future of the remaining Defenders is also extremely bright. After a relatively brief look at the old character skin, the Disney Plus series has also revealed the identity and appearance of White Tiger. This character is confirmed to be Hector Ayala, an individual caught up in the chaos that occurred in New York City, which forced him to put on a vigilante mask to fight. It is not known whether White Tiger was inspired by Daredevil or not, but Matt Murdock will defend this knight in court. The motivation for the lawyer here is understandable, the connection from the ego he abandoned, an outlaw using violent fists to protect the city. Currently, all that has been revealed around the White Lake is only the appearance. Whether there are any supernatural powers of the character in live action is not yet known. Also wearing a white outfit in Born Again, Muse, a serial killer and street performer, was set to be the core villain. In the trailer, Muse was stupid, was beaten up by the blind knight in a good fight, and couldn't even get a chance to fight back. This approach somewhat shows the truly dangerous side of the man-eater. He is not someone who can compare to Daredevil in terms of 5 punches, but the disaster that Muse left behind is increased injuries, death, and fear of people. In the trailer, we see the corpses hanging upside down, interwoven, arranged like a work of art. This is a type of psychotic villain that Matt Murdock has never dealt with, and perhaps will also be a challenge. He prints the most profound lesson on heroism, from the always wavering demon of Hell's Kitchen. The frame of the blind man going crazy like this, surely he did not come from a one-night stand with She-Hulk. It could directly describe the origin, which made Matt Murdock cross the line he set for Daredevil. I was raised to believe and be pampered, but I was also raised to believe in punishment. When the lawyer said this phrase, born again, it would still be a deep island to explore the religious faith that has torn Daredevil's heart throughout many movies on Netflix. With the same title full of rebirth, Matt Murdock will somehow wear the Daredevil costume again. Only what pain made him once give it up is worth wondering. Following the mass rebirth, the action scene full of violence was also shown. Not only is it true for Techke, but also New York is sinking deeper into violence under the reign of the Market Wilson Fisk. Daredevil has also taken the opportunity to shorten the combat costumes with many different colors and materials. For Matt Murdock, however, this wardrobe variety is like playing a first-person shooter with clothing skins. So hopefully the writers will add some cool features like bulletproof, fireproof, or an active human torpedo like Peacemaker. It would be boring and redundant to draw them even just for show. Some interesting Easter eggs and recurring themes have been introduced, including Rogers the Musical, which pops up all over New York every New Year's Eve. Alongside the musical, Marvel Studios has also hinted at the fictional soldering brand, Pingo Doce. This theme was introduced in the 2008 Incredible Hulk movie, and recently, coincidentally, rumors of a solo project for the Green Giant have been circulating. In the bustling scene in the square, there is also a joint New Year's logo from Pim Van Dyne, the company that took over the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania project. That night, Harlem's Paradise was a very famous location in the Luke Cage series directed by Netflix. This Easter egg, therefore, further fuels the expectations of fans about the Defenders team in the near future. In an unexpected situation, member Doc protected Kamala Khan's father from a terrorist attack at the bank where he worked. This detail does not mean a cameo role from Ms. Marvel or a connection to the wider MCU. This is just an illustration of how the MCU will take advantage of sharing in the Spotlight brand branch. The Daredevils and Punishers live right next to Peter Parker's house, but they do not necessarily have to fight Thanos. It would make more sense if member Doc chose to stay behind to protect Hell's Kitchen. And sometimes a passing hooker like Kamala Khan's dad is enough to remind viewers that they exist in the same universe. Finally, the trailer is careful to highlight a shot of Michael Gandolfini. Some documents floating around the internet have listed the actor and character as Daniel Blake. However, with this very distinctive appearance, Michael is being widely rumored to be Wilson Fisk's estranged son. Daredevil Born Again premieres March 4th, and we'll be doing a full breakdown of each episode. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any videos. Thanks everyone for watching the whole video.